Hi, Reddit. I'm Lena, 35, and I just found out my husband doesn't just want a divorce. He wants to gut me financially and walk away with a smirk. And the worst part? He thinks I'm too stupid to stop him. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't hiding behind doors or reading his emails. All I did was walk into the kitchen early, my kitchen, and hear him say something I will never forget. He was on the phone with someone, his business partner, I think. I was supposed to be out running errands, but my meeting got canceled. He didn't hear me come in, didn't see me standing there, frozen, while he leaned against the counter and casually said, "She won't get sh*T. Trust me. Lena thinks joint investments mean joint control. She has no idea what we're really holding. I built in fail-safes years ago." Then he laughed. "She's good at making sandwiches, not spreadsheets. If she want to fight, she'll lose before it starts." My hands went cold, not shaking, just numb, because I'd suspected things were off for a while. He'd been different, dismissive, snapping over nothing, acting like my questions were noise. We were sleeping in the same bed, but it felt like I was renting space in a stranger's house. But this was confirmation. He wasn't just done with the marriage. He wanted to break me on the way out. I backed out quietly. He didn't see me. I sat in my car for 45 minutes, staring at the steering wheel. And I kept hearing that sentence over and over in my head. She's good at making sandwiches, not spreadsheets. Like I was some idiot housewife who couldn't count to 10 without a calculator. Never mind the fact that I worked 2 jobs while he built his company. Never mind that I helped him study for his MBA. Never mind that I managed our home, his family's drama, and every single tax season like clockwork while he networked with investors over drinks. But sure, I'm the dumb one. I didn't confront him. Not yet, because I'm not dumb. And if he wants to think he's the only one capable of planning, let him. I'll show him what real preparation looks like. That night, I acted like nothing happened. I made dinner. I asked about his day. I even let him explain to me, like a toddler, why he was thinking about moving some assets around. I nodded and smiled while inside. I was already opening new folders, new passwords, new tabs in my head. Because if this was war, game on. I called my cousin Ash the next day. He's a forensic accountant. We haven't spoken in a while, not since my husband mocked his job and said, "Counting other people's money isn't real finance." Ash answered on the second ring. "Hey, stranger, you busy?" "Not for you." I told him everything, and when I was done, he paused for a beat, then said, "You want to fight fire with numbers? I want to take back what's mine, and then some. Send me everything, every account, every transfer, every signature you've ever seen him write." Over the next week, Ash and I built a shadow file. Turns out, the man who thought he was too smart to get caught used the same 3 passwords for everything. And better yet, he'd left a full digital trail of internal transfers between fake LLCs that led back to one place. His personal wallet. I didn't get angry. I got focused, because this wasn't about revenge. It was about refusing to walk away quietly while someone else sets your house on fire and says it was an accident. The real breaking point? A dinner party, hosted at our house. 8 people from his firm. Fancy wine. Pretentious cheese boards. Real finance bro energy. He got a little drunk and started telling a story about marrying young. She was a sweetheart. Still is. Just differently, you know? One of the guys, clearly tipsy, leaned in and asked, "So what's the play when the divorce hits?" And he said, "I've been cleaning up shop for years. She'll walk away with a toaster and a prayer." Everyone laughed, including the junior partner who winked at him across the table. I excused myself and locked myself in the bathroom. Texted Ash, "I want the nuke. Whatever it is, find it." And Ash replied with something that made me smile. "Already have it. Call me at 9 a.m. tomorrow." I left that dinner party early. Faked a migraine. As he smiled at his friends like the king of the castle, I was already slipping on my jacket. Already walking out the door of the house I helped him build. Already halfway gone. That night, I slept at Mia's. She's my oldest friend and a criminal defense attorney with 0 patience for cowards. She poured wine while I vented. When I told her what he said about the toaster and a prayer, she didn't laugh. She leaned forward and said, "Let's make sure he ends up choking on that toaster." The next morning, I called Ash at 9 a.m. sharp. He picked up mid-yawn. "You're going to want coffee for this one." I was already holding a cup. Hit me. He laid it out in 5 brutal sentences. My husband had opened 3 shell companies in the last 4 years. All 3 were listed under fake partners, 2 of which were dead-end LLCs tied to his cousin, who has no idea. He'd funneled nearly $600,000 through those channels and claimed losses on our joint tax returns to offset his gains. I had unknowingly signed a few documents, thanks to his just sign here tactics. But Ash found proof that he forged my signature on at least one. My blood ran cold and then hot. Is that illegal? Forgery? Fraud? Tax evasion? Yeah, Lena, that's not just shady. That's felony time if someone pushes it. Could I be liable? Not if we move fast and play the smart. I sat in Mia's kitchen after that call, staring at a legal pad. She poured coffee, no questions asked. I told her everything. She nodded. We need a paper trail, an exit plan, and a lawyer who knows where the bodies are buried. That's you. I mean someone more boring than me. Corporate boring. She made a call. 2 hours later, I had a meeting set with a divorce attorney who used to work for his firm, and who, according to Mia, knows your husband's brand of shady like the back of her diamond-ringed hand. Her name was Eleanor. Sharp suit, calm voice, surgical brain. She let me talk, listened, skimmed through Ash's report in silence. Then she looked at me with that same terrifying calm you see in surgeons right before they cut. You've got leverage, but you have to stay clean. What does that mean? No theatrics, no confrontations, no accidental threats via text. Let him believe he's in control. And while he's planning his takedown, we'll be building yours. I nodded. When do I serve him? Soon, but not yet. First, we gather. Quietly. The next 2 weeks felt like walking on a tightrope while smiling for a crowd. At home, I pretended to be exhausted. Claimed I was re-evaluating things. Let him think I was emotionally drained, not sharpening a legal sword behind the scenes. He bought it. He even started being nicer. Started bringing me coffee in the morning. Sent me a meme once, the kind he hadn't sent in months. It wasn't affection. It was control management. He sensed I was slipping and wanted to anchor me with crumbs. I took the coffee, smiled, and forwarded the timestamp to Ash so we could track his morning movement. Ash found another account. Offshore. Small but active. It was buried in the back end of one of his shell companies. How? He used the same stupid 4-digit code in every document signature, the last 4 of his college ID. Ash cross-referenced old student forms and caught it. He's lazy. Lazy, greedy guys are the easiest to catch. They think they're untouchable. I want to be the one who proves him wrong. That happened. The moment that turned my quiet build-up into full determination. We were at dinner with his parents. His mom asked if we were doing okay, and he laughed. Right there, in front of everyone. She's figuring out how money works. I told her marriage is the best finance course she'll ever take. I froze. His father chuckled. His mom looked embarrassed. I smiled tightly and said nothing. But inside, I was already handing him the envelope. That night, he went out with clients. I opened our shared safe. Took only what was already mine. My birth certificate, the deed to my car, family jewelry from my grandmother, a thumb drive I recognized as Ash's backup. I didn't touch anything else. Didn't need to. I already had everything that mattered stored elsewhere. Then I packed a bag. Not the dramatic suitcase scene, just a weekend bag. Toiletries. A few clothes. My laptop. I left the rest behind. Because I wasn't running away. I was preparing to return with fire. When he came home later that night, I was already at Mia's. He texted me. Everything okay? You didn't say goodnight. I replied. Just needed some air. Be back soon. He sent a thumbs up emoji. That was the last time I'd ever lied to him. The next morning, Eleanor filed the papers. Ash finalized the forensic report. Mia texted. Showtime. We had him boxed in. Tax evasion. Signature forgery. Hidden funds. Financial coercion. And best of all, we had proof. Receipts. Timelines. IP addresses. And me, standing calm in the middle of it all, not flinching while his carefully stacked empire began to tilt. We sent him the papers with a neutral courier, hand-delivered at his office. Eleanor insisted. Let him feel the humiliation where he feels most powerful. An hour later, he called me. 6 missed calls. Then a text. What the actual F asterisk 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 is this? I didn't reply, because now he was playing my game, and I was winning. When you take down someone who thinks you're too stupid to fight back, it's not about yelling louder or flipping tables. It's about showing up where they least expect you, with a calm face, and all the receipts. The morning after the divorce papers were delivered, I walked into his office. Not our house, his office, unannounced. The receptionist looked up and gave me the same, oh no, face people give when an ex shows up uninvited. He's in a meeting. He's about to be out of one. She didn't argue. She could probably feel the energy coming off me like static. I walked past the glass doors, heels hitting tile like clockwork. He was sitting at the conference table with 2 partners and a junior associate. When he saw me, his eyes flickered, surprise, then confusion, then panic. "Lena, what are you doing here?" I dropped a thick envelope on the table in front of him. "That's a list of the accounts I've already frozen. The rest are being reviewed as of this morning." The junior associate's jaw dropped. One of the partners raised his eyebrows. "Excuse me," he started, but I cut him off. "Sorry to interrupt. I'll only need 5 minutes." I turned to my husband. "Or maybe less, since you always said I didn't understand business." He followed me out of the room like a dog scrambling after a runaway leash. "What the F asterisk asterisk K are you doing, Lena?" "Oh no, we're not doing this here. You just humiliated me in front of my firm. You've been humiliating me for years. This is me breaking even." We walked to a stairwell landing, away from glass walls and echo chambers. He leaned in close, furious, whispering, "You're not going to get away with this. You literally said I wouldn't get SH asterisk T. Remember that? Now I'm getting everything you thought was buried. You don't know what you're messing with." I smiled. "I think I do. And so does the IRS now." His face went pale, dead white. "See, I should file the preliminary alert to the IRS just days earlier. No official accusation yet, just a heads up with documentation attached. Enough to shake his cage. Enough to make him feel the pressure. Enough for him to realize that I had a loaded gun, and I wasn't waving it for attention. I was aiming." He tried to pivot. "You're making this way messier than it needs to be. You forged my signature on a financial disclosure, and you're mad I'm messy? It wasn't like that. I was protecting our interests." "No, you were protecting your ego, and you thought I'd never catch up." He paused, then dropped the final card he thought he had. "You'll ruin both of us." That's when I leaned in. Same tone, same volume. "You're right, but only one of us deserves it." He backed off. I could see it, the fear setting in. This wasn't about a bitter wife burning things down. This was a calculated woman with evidence, backing, and nothing to lose. I wasn't trying to win anymore. I already had. Now, I was deciding how much I wanted to collect. Back at Mia's that night, we opened a bottle of wine. She grinned. "Did you actually say, and so does the IRS?" I said it calm, like in a movie. "You are my hero. I just want what's mine." She raised a glass. "And what he thought you'd never be smart enough to take." But here's where it gets better. That same week, the junior associate from his firm, the one who saw the entire confrontation, emailed me. Professional. Straightforward. She wanted to talk. We met at a coffee shop near my lawyer's office. She ordered black coffee. No small talk. Then said, "You don't know me, but I've worked under your husband for almost 2 years. Okay, I've seen some things. I always thought he was just intense. Until recently. Until I realized he's manipulative. He's been pushing me to handle shady transfers. I didn't have proof, but after what happened in the conference room, I think I want to help." She slid a thumb drive across the table. I didn't touch it yet. "What's on it?" "Emails. Memos. Internal notes he never shared. You didn't just catch him doing shady things. You caught a pattern." That night, I sent the drive to Ash. His reply came 5 hours later. "This isn't just leverage anymore. This is nuclear. We'll help. It's your call. We can play it soft, or we can bury him in litigation and watch the firm squirm." What would you do? I'd ask what version of peace you want. The quiet kind, or the kind that leaves a scar. I thought about it long and hard. And for the first time in months, I went to sleep without rage in my throat. Not because I was done fighting, but because I finally felt like I had a choice. He took that from me for so long. Manipulated me into silence, and a feeling like fighting back was irrational, like protecting myself meant being cruel. But now, every step I took was deliberate, and every quiet move I made hit louder than any scream ever could. It had been 5 days since I delivered the financial freeze and left him gasping like a fish outside water. No texts, no voicemails, not even one of his classic "can we talk" messages. He was silent, which, for a man who loves to control the room, was practically a scream. Meanwhile, I met with Eleanor twice, Ash once in person, and Mia nearly every night over takeout and case files. We had everything, and now it was time to decide. Do I drop the bomb, or do I simply take what's mine and walk away? Mia, of course, wanted the fireworks. He tried to financially assassinate you, Lena. He mocked you to his friends. He literally said you'd walk away with a toaster. So why shouldn't he walk into court with his reputation in flames? Ash was more reserved. You've already outmaneuvered him. You have power. Going full nuclear makes you look vengeful, and you're not. He was right. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurt. I was clear. But clarity comes with questions. Do I want justice? Do I want revenge? Or do I want peace? Could I even have all three? Eleanor scheduled a final settlement meeting. Just me, him, and the attorneys. She asked, "You sure you want to do it in person?" "Yes." "He needs to look me in the eyes." She smirked. "You're going to make him sweat. I'm going to make him understand." The conference room was glass-walled and cold. He was already seated when I walked in. Gray suit, clean shave, eyes slightly bloodshot. He looked tired, but not broken. Not yet. He didn't stand, didn't greet me, just stared. I took my seat. Eleanor opened the folder in front of her, slid a thick stack of papers toward his side of the table. "We're offering you a settlement. Fair. Final. If you sign, it ends here. No court, no press, no federal investigation." His lawyer, some stiff in a $2,000 blazer, cleared his throat. "And if he doesn't?" Eleanor didn't even blink. "Then we go public. IRS, civil court, your firm's ethics board, and the financial oversight committee." He turned to me. "So this is who you are now?" "No, this is who I've always been. You just prefer me small." He looked at the documents. Didn't touch them. Just said, "You could ruin me. You were willing to ruin me. The difference is I have proof. This doesn't feel like you, because you never actually paid attention to me. You just assumed I'd always fold." He finally picked up the pen. "So what? I sign this and walk. You sign this, and you leave with your job, your money, and your name intact. I leave with peace." He hesitated, then looked at me. Really looked for the first time in years. "You were never stupid." "I know. I'm sorry." "You're not. You're scared." He nodded. Signed. And that was it. No fireworks. No yelling. No tears. Just a signature on paper and a man realizing too late that the woman he tried to break had already rebuilt herself. We left the office. Eleanor smiled at me in the elevator. "You just outplayed a man who thought he was smarter than everyone in the room. He wasn't. You know, most people would have burned it all down." "Yeah, but then I'd still smell the smoke every time I walked into a new room." That night, I sat on Mia's couch. She handed me a glass of wine. "So that's it. That's it. You really didn't want to destroy him?" "Oh, I wanted to, but I wanted to be free more. And here's the truth I've come to love. I didn't need to ruin him, because people like him, they live in a constant state of rot, always needing to control, always needing to feel superior, always one slip away from crumbling. He'll ruin himself, and I'll be long gone when it happens." The final settlement gave me the house. I sold it the next month. A 40% equity buyout from his company. Full ownership of our shared real estate investments. My car, my name, my peace. No drama. Just a clean cut. Like a surgeon's hand. 1 week later, I got an email from a junior associate. Just one line. Word got out. He's taking a break from the firm. No one surprised. Another message from Ash that same day. "By the way, IRS opened a quiet inquiry anyway. You didn't report him, but I think someone else might have." I smiled. Not because I needed him to go down, but because karma doesn't always need an invitation. Sometimes it just shows up late, but dressed for war. I moved out of Mia's 2 months later. Got my own apartment. Bought new furniture. Learned how to sleep diagonally again. There's something intoxicating about rebuilding without asking permission. I changed my number, deleted old threads, even got a new email address. No misses attached. He tried to reach out once more. One of those weak LinkedIn pings. Hope you're doing okay. I didn't respond because I'm not the version of me who needed closure anymore. I am the closure. It's been 6 months since the final signature. No calls, no emails, no surprise let's talk visits. Silence. Not the bitter, biting kind. The clean kind. The kind that fills your lungs when you finally step outside after holding your breath for too long. I've changed everything. New apartment. New city. New coffee shop where the barista calls me L and never asks if I'm married. I switched careers. Finally launched my own consulting brand. Nothing flashy. Just real clients, real money, and real satisfaction that every invoice has my name on it and no one else's fingerprints. I got my peace the quiet way. No headlines. No messy court battle. Just receipts, strategy, and walking away at exactly the right time. I don't talk about him anymore. Not because I'm scared to, but because he's not the main character in my story. I am. He once said I was good at making sandwiches, not spreadsheets. Now, I'm the one tracking 5 revenue streams, holding 2 business accounts, and helping 3 other women leave similar financial traps through my quiet little network. Turns out, my spreadsheets make money. His just made excuses. There's a new mirror in my bathroom. Tall, bright, unforgiving in the best way. I look at myself every morning, no makeup, hair messy, hoodie on, and I whisper, "You got out." That's it. No motivational speeches. No revenge fantasies. Just a quiet truth. I left. I lived. And I didn't need to scream to be heard. One night not long ago, Mia and I were having dinner on my new balcony. Wine. Pizza. One of those random Spotify jazz playlists that feels fancier than we deserve. She asked me, if you could go back to that moment in the kitchen, hearing him say those words, would you still walk away? I didn't even blink. I would have walked away sooner. Even without the plan. Even without the money. Because the moment someone thinks you're stupid enough to destroy without consequences, you don't need a spreadsheet. You need a door and a good friend to help hold it open. I still remember the line. She won't get *T. He said it with a laugh. He said it like he was already imagining my life crumbling while he raised a glass somewhere else. But what he didn't realize, the second you count someone out, you forget to guard your own numbers. He stopped guarding. I started watching. And that was the beginning of the end for him. And the start of everything for me. He reached out one last time. A full 6 months after it was all over. Email. No subject line. Just one paragraph. I underestimated you. I thought you'd break. But you didn't. And I've lost a lot more than money. I lost the only person who ever made me feel like I was enough. I'm sorry. I didn't reply. Not because I was bitter. Because nothing he could say would ever measure up to the silence I gave him. That silence? It's what he earned. And what I now value more than anything. I've started helping women like me. Quietly. No hashtags. No public rants. Just spreadsheets, legal templates, and plans for exit that no one sees coming until it's done. The revenge isn't loud. It's free women walking away with their names, their assets, and their eyes forward. You don't need to destroy someone to prove you were worth more. You just have to stop letting them sit in the center of your story. That was the real shift. When I realized I didn't want to be the woman who beat him. I wanted to be the woman who forgot him. Last week, I passed a couple in a restaurant. They were fighting softly, but you could feel it. The man snapped something like, "You wouldn't understand." "You never do." And the woman? She just looked away. Not angry. Just gone. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. Because maybe she's not ready yet. Maybe she's where I was, waiting, doubting, quietly collecting the courage that will one day turn into something irreversible. But if she ever finds this story, or someone like her does, I hope they hear me loud and clear. You're not stupid. You are not replaceable. And the moment you start treating your peace like it's non-negotiable, the whole damn world adjusts around you. So no, I didn't destroy him. I didn't need to, because in the end, I didn't walk away with a toaster. I walked away with my whole life. See you later.